As I stood before the doors to the rapture chamber the next morning, the weight of millions of lives balanced on my shoulders. I could have sworn unseen eyes were burrowing into my skin, waiting to see what I'd do next, and whether a night of rest and persuasive words had succeeded in convincing the chancellors of my worth. The walls around me wavered. I wanted to hide, to bury my nose in books in the palace's great library and search for convincing arguments. But solitude would only be avoidance. If I knew anything, it was that fate had a way of finding you despite your greatest efforts. I had to dig up the answers within myself. Angelborn's pulse beat through my blood as I looked to Tolik, Cypherion, and Jezebel, my core guard, dressed in official leathers, then to Malachi and Santorina. The former was allowed attendance in the rapture because he was a warrior, but he couldn't participate since he hadn't completed the undertaking. I didn't think he minded. He'd been quiet since I returned late last night and found him asleep atop the covers, the room in disarray, and a box I recognized on his bedside table. I tried not to think about that now, though. The body melders operate on logic, Santorina reminded me, having spent the morning with the healing clan. Approach from a factual standpoint, and Brigitte should be convinced. Logic. Right. Rationale as opposed to the faith Mystiques operated on. I looked to Scythe, the most practical of us all, and he nodded in encouragement.
"You can do this, Ophelia,"
he said simply. Good luck. Santorina hugged me to her, the cotton of her dress soft beneath my shaking hands. As a human, she wasn't granted permission to join the rapture. I'd never hated that rule more than now.
"She doesn't need luck,"
Tolik said with one of his charming grins.
"She was born for this."
His support shot through me like a lightning bolt, straightening my spine. He was right. I'm ready, I told them, confidence flowing stronger. Tolik and Cypherion opened the large double doors, and Jezebel entered first to announce my arrival, Malachi following last. Chairs scraped against marble as the chancellor stood, the apprentices and advisors they'd brought taking up positions around the room's 3 solid walls between the gilded statues of each angel. The 4th wall, my favorite view, was open to the air, looking over the mountains, the only place in Dominal where you could see the entire city. Every clan was dressed in their finest today, from Titus's swath of silver silk robes adorning his tall frame to Merodot's chiffon wisp of a lilac gown and Azalea's sand-colored leathers. Each leader wore what their people deemed honorable garb. Even Brigitte wore a thick dress and sturdy gloves, and Eyre donned a straight-shouldered jacket, a heavy fur cloak draped off one shoulder despite the warm mountain air.